my record button. There we go. I'm going to begin seated. So coming into your seat, maybe with a little extra support underneath your hips. I do like that a lot. It just depends what we're going to do. I'm going to go with just a folded blanket. And something that I do love about in person that I really just can't do on Zoom is to kind of assess people's seats, to adjust props, and we all have different stuff to work with. So getting yourself into a position that feels as tall of a spine as you can muster. Now let your hands come to your legs and gently sway a little from side to side, feeling into your spine, feeling into your hips sinking downward and the crown of your head extending up towards the sky. And we really are this point between heaven and earth. We're this place between the earth and the sky, between the more yin, nourishing, nurturing, supportive energies, and the yang, the very expansive, open possibilities. We channel all of those possibilities when we find a tall spine. That's one of the benefits of posture and meditation. And of course, your yoga practice, it's really based on meditation. We think of asana often, but you'll find the seat as an important part of Buddhist meditation, Taoist meditation, yogic, all across different cultures, because as you sink into the earth, you can ground yourself a little more, being that excellent conduit for that yang energy. Releasing tension through strengthening your body, allowing the flow of your energy through your breath. And just find a smile, affecting your energy through your gestures, through your movements. Feel the expansion of your lungs, and the release where your shoulders relax a little bit more. You're going to extend your legs out in front of you. Bring your arms out and move your wrists, move your ankles, your fingers, your toes. We can talk about different different ideas of how energy moves through our bodies and what that energy is. And I really love, and I think a lot of people really love, the movement of the physical body because it's the embodiment of your energy in your structural form, your fascia. You can open and close your toes and fingers, your muscles, your bones, your blood, all of the hormones, your endocrine system, your nervous system. I mean, all of the systems of your body. So your anatomy, your physiology is your energy. It's how you interact with the world around you. Let your hands come down. Roll your shoulders up to your ears and back a few times. Just getting into your shoulders, into your upper back. Letting your feet sort of relax if you can. Now let's take your palms of your hands down the outer leg and back up in the outer leg. Just sort of pressing, not so much into your knees, but especially in your upper leg, using the kind of palm of the hand or the meat of your hand to get a little bit of release and relaxation in your IT band and muscles along your outer leg. Then give your legs a little bit of a wider stance, not terribly wide, but enough to go to the inner leg. We have channels of energy, the meridians, running up and down our extremities and connected through the fascia, through your interstitial fluids as well. You know, we can't really isolate parts of the body. Everything is absolutely connected. And I think we become more and more aware of that. The scientific community, becomes more and more aware of the interconnections as well. Just like you have an injury in one part of your body and the connective tissue can form an adhesion. You can have a tightness that kind of bunches up and maybe even causes discomfort or pooling in other areas of the body. So this kind of self-massage, same with when we do our patting or tapping, is really helpful to sort of gently release and vibrate those connections, to release tension maybe in completely different parts of your body. It can be surprising where those releases can happen. Now you're going to come back up and I'm going to have you bend one knee and bring your foot in. This is where you might bring a block under your leg and rub the bottom of your foot. If you've ever had reflexology, is fascinating. There are points all along the bottoms of the feet and the palms of the hands that are associated with different areas of the body. So it's kind of like a similar idea as meridians, as channels of energy on some level, like little, it's like a microcosm of your whole body. And I'm not schooled in that, but I feel like if you're rubbing your feet, you're giving yourself a full body massage. And in our 5-element theory, we absolutely have this area where the ball of your foot meets the arch of your foot, and you can kind of find that space, the bubbling wellspring. It's like your connector for your lower body into the earth as well. The water element, our kidneys, our adrenal glands, our urinary bladder, reproductive organs, genetics, where we came from, all connected to the water element, stimulating kidney 1, the bubbling wellspring. And now, since you are indeed here, you can go ahead and remove that block. We're going to do just a little bit of stretching from here. I want you to take a hand to your long leg, sit up as tall as you can, and then reach your arm over. We're going to come and bring that hand back and then just lift your other arm, bending into your elbow of the hand that's on the ground. And so you're kind of bending into your elbows. You're finding this little lateral stretch with your knee bent. Letting your jaw relax, letting your eyes relax. One more time. And then if it feels like a fun idea, bring your hand down and maybe you shift your weight onto your shin and lift your other arm up. That's a tall order, but maybe it feels like a fun thing to do, and bring it back down. Sweep your arm up, lifting your hips, and bring it back down. One more time, sweep your arm up, lifting your hips, pressing through your heel and the shin. Bring it back down, wild and crazy times. Come back to center, shoulders up to your ears, they roll back. Bring your hand to your outer knee and straighten your leg out. Give it a little movement. And now we'll switch sides. We're going to bend your knee and bring your foot in. Let your block maybe come to beneath your knee and rub your foot. Give your foot a nice massage. Just go wherever you feel inclined to go. So your body is a conduit of energy. Your body is also your tool, your vessel for experiencing all of the experiences life has to offer. And so you want to take care of it. Functionality is one of the major reasons that people tend to want to take yoga classes or Qigong classes. They just want to function better, or they see and they know, we all know that we're going to age, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason why we can't do it in a balanced way. I'm going to rub the bubbling wellspring where the ball of your foot meets your arch, sort of press into that point. Sort of like this place where whenever we can envision that roots come down from our feet, that's where they come down from. You can remove your block from your outer leg and you're going to find that lateral stretch activity. One direction, oh, big stretch, and then in the other direction. Let your elbow bend so that your shoulder can release from by your ear. It tends to want to go there sometimes. And through these types of movements, we're stretching the fascia. We're finding kind of finding a gentleness, finding a softness within your structure. Next time you come up, we're going to play with that crazy movement. It feels like fun. You can press your hand down, lift your heel, presses into the ground, your shin presses down. You can lift. So that's an interesting stretch, and bring it back down, swooping your hand down. And you can play with that. You can keep your hips on the ground too as you play with that movement. Reaching. Ooh, and lowering without kerplopping. It's a tall order. One more time, reach. And then lower. Bring your hand to your outer knee. And then just stretch both legs out. Give them a bounce about. We'll come into tabletop. Having support under your knees makes it more palatable to be on your knees. And in your tabletop, something I want to suggest, because wrists can be an issue, is to roll up the top of your blanket or the top of your mat, and then have your hands at an angle where your wrists are slightly higher than your fingers. That can be helpful if this is too straining for your wrists. Press through your hands. Feel your shoulders round kind of your upper back. So feeling nice and engaged here. Draw your low abdomen in. Find your breath. And then cows and cats. And it's not just about letting your belly hang down. It's about pressing through the tops of your feet, opening up your chest, and then rounding forward. Great way to encourage spinal health. Of course, the spine being a huge energy center. Yoga, it's called the Sushumna. They're considered to be two nadis, major nadis. Nadis and meridians are synonymous. And there's two major nadis that wind through the Sushumna, entwining at the levels of the chakras, the energy centers, oriented across the spinal plexuses. And in Qigong, it's a little bit of a different way to think about things, but there are definitely two major meridians: the governing vessel, which goes up the back of the body, and the conception vessel, which goes down the front of the body. Both of these also associated with your spinal column to some degree. I'm going to come back to center, at least the back one, the governing vessel. You're going to find knees together. You're going to play with some spinal balance. Bring your right leg behind you. Extend your right leg long. Feel strong through your right hand, and maybe lift your left arm up. Now we're going to play with bringing your knee towards your elbow, kind of rounding as your knee comes towards your elbow, and then extending back out. We'll do that about 3 times. So this is quite a little aerobic activity. Well, I don't know if it's aerobic, but you know, it's kind of intense. And then bring it all down. Let's switch sides. Bring your knees together. Make sure you feel nice and supported. And bring your low abdomen towards your spine. Left leg extends back behind you. Press through your left hand and then reach your right arm out in front of you. Thumb faces up. Lifting spinal balance. Engaging your deep stabilizer muscles to support your abdominal contents. And then find your knee to elbow and extend. Knee to elbow and extend. Knee to elbow and extend. Bring it all down. Child's pose. Knees a little wider, hips sink down. I'm just gonna unroll my mat. See if you can bring your forehead to the ground and just let your forehead rock from side to side. Now, you know, your child's pose could look quite different than mine. Maybe your hips are much higher because your knees don't care to bend quite like that. And that's quite all right. Wherever you are, seeing if you can find a bit of relaxation before we continue on our little journey. Letting your jaw relax, and taking a nice deep breath in and let it go. Now coming back into a tabletop. Curl your toes under and lift your hips. Press through your heels, kind of bending, straightening your legs, pedaling them out, downward facing dog. You can kind of lift all the way up onto the ball of each foot and sink your heels down a little, keeping your hips up. And your chest comes towards your upper legs. Walk your hands back towards your toes. Find a forward fold and slowly roll up to standing. We're going to keep that blanket there because we're going to come back down to the ground. Little sun salutation-ish experience. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and back down. Shake out your feet. Shake out your hands. Staying at the back of your mat. You can bounce around a little bit. I think that's always a nice thing to do. And getting up and getting down from the ground are helpful things to be able to do. Not everybody can do that. We're going to come into mountain pose, Tadasana. Let your feet be about hip width distance and rock from the ball of your foot to your heel. Let your shoulders stack over your hips. And you can here kind of draw your low abdomen in towards your spine. Lifting your chest, chin comes slightly in towards your chest as well. And then reach your arms up overhead, tall mountain. Reaching. We're gonna sink into a chair pose. Sink your hips, keep your knees not terribly far over your ankles. It's like a bar stool chair, a bar stool Utkatasana. And then straighten your legs, reach. And reach forward, hinge at your hips, extend your fingers out in front of you. You're in L shape. And then lower your hands all the way down, bend your knees. We're gonna walk back out towards tabletop. And we're going to walk all the way down to forearms. Hips to the ground. Stack your hands. Let your forehead rest on your stacked hands. Kind of wiggle your hips. I'm going to be here for a moment before we do some baby cobras. Strengthening the muscles that support your spine. encouraging that structure that makes you a good conduit of energy. You're going to bring your big toes together to touch. Press the tops of your feet. Engage your glutes and press your hips down. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Elbows come in towards your ribs. Baby cobra, lift your collarbones. Your shoulders moving away from your ears. And your glutes are very engaged. Your whole, your legs are engaged, helping you to lift through your lower middle back. And then lower down. And lift back up. And lower down. One more, baby cobra, lifting. And lower down. Curl your toes under. Press your hips up and back into your child's pose, Balasana. Rounding through your spine as much as you can. I'm going to have my knees together here. You can play with different variations of this. And now bring yourself back to tabletop. I'm going to take my blocks and bring them on the highest setting. I want to bring your right foot between your hands and then start to bring your right hand to your inner leg and walk your foot off of the mat. We're going to do some sort of circles with your hips. Now, it's okay if you don't have blocks, it'll just look more like this. I just kind of like being up a little bit higher. It creates less compression in my abdomen. I just like it better. So just making some interesting sort of circles, going one direction and then the other direction. Coming to a central place, walk your foot back between your hands, curl your back toes under, lift your back knee off of the ground. You're gonna come into a twist to your right. Let your left hand come to the ground. Your right hand can come to your upper leg. Find length through your spine, engage your back leg and find a twist. Maybe you reach your arm up with your fingertips towards the ceiling. And then bring that hand back down. Bring your knee back down. Knee comes under. Switcheroo the sides. Or bring your left foot between your hands. And your left hand comes to the inside of your leg. Walk your foot off of your mat. And you get your funky little circle things, little stretchies. Circling your hips, kind of part circle hips, part stretching your leg. It's really so you can kind of feel into your hip flexor, feeling into how that's all working out for you. Breathing. It's a different kind of way to move. Feels a little awkward and chunky to me to do it, but at the same time, I can see how it can be informative. Breathing is important. And now walk your foot back to between your hands and have our crazy twisteroo with a lunge. Curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, press through your heel. Bring your right hand to the ground. Left hand comes to your upper leg. Lengthen through your spine and then twist towards the left. Maybe you reach your fingertips towards the sky. Thumbs drawn inwards. Extending. And then to bring your hand back down. Knee comes down. Other knee comes down. Coming into your downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet. This time you can remove your blanket if you have one. Let your upper body ragdoll fold. Interlace your hands into your elbow creases. Allow yourself to sway from side to side.
Now let your arms come down, come to center. Slowly make your way up to standing. Keep your chin tucked until you come to the very top. Shoulders up to your ears. You roll back. Give yourself a shake. Make your way to the middle of your mat or wherever you can see me. Balancing a little bit. We're going to play with Qigong. We're going to play with some balancing, which we all benefit from balancing for sure. Let your shoulders come up to your ears. Roll back again. And I'd like for your feet to be about shoulder width distance. I want you to press through that bubbling wellspring, the bottom of each foot we made ourselves aware of. Bring your hands together and rub them. So just as you have a point on the bottom of each hand, you also have a point on the bottom of each foot. You have a point on the palm of each hand, the Lao Gong. Give yourself a little rub through the center of your hand. The Lao Gong, when they're connected or when they're facing each other, it's said to kind of close a circuit of energy that goes from one palm through the arm, through the heart and lungs, and down the other shoulder and arm into the hand. And so it kind of closes this energetic circuit. Rub your wrist as well. There's an acupressure point, a few of them actually, along your wrist, both the back of your wrist and the front of your wrist, that helps us to kind of work with our endocrine system. And we're going to do the other hand, rubbing your Lao Gong, pericardium. It's not one, I don't think. Can't remember which pericardium. It's a major pericardium point. So that's the sac of fascia that surrounds your heart. And then to your wrist, the front and back of your wrist, giving it a little warming, especially after all of that wristy stuff. And now let your hands shake out. I'm gonna swing the arms forward and back. Someone in one of my classes yesterday was like, I love doing this. I don't know why I don't do this every day. You don't do it every day either. You do it every day. I'll come back to center. Give yourself a wiggle. Press through your feet. And then twisty arm swings. Let them twist away. Maybe your hands hit your body. Maybe you find knocking on the door of life where you have a fist hit your chest and the other fist hits your kidney adrenal area. Knocking on the door of life, encouraging a little relaxation in the tissues. You're just tenderizing yourself. It's nice to find that balance between kind of structured postures and then a little bit more release, relaxation. I think it's kind of like opening and closing channels throughout your body. Coming back into center. Now just notice how you feel. We're going to play with balance. Let one hand press out to the side, the other comes about center line. You want to watch your shoulder. We tend to lift it really high. Same if you want to keep your spine lengthened as you shift to that leg and touch out with the toe. And coming back to center, shift and touch out with the toe. Notice your weight shifting across each leg, seeing if you can really engage your leg. If you can really allow your weight to be supported on one leg, and that touching out of the toe is, there's no weight on that foot. It's a lot of concentration to make that happen. I'm going to do this once more on each side. And coming
Back to center. Let your palms press behind you. Opening your chest. Feel your weight evenly distributed. Shift your weight to one side. Press through the bottom of that foot. Heel comes out in front. Whew. Arms come out in front. Toe comes behind. Working with your heel and your toe. And this encourages a lot of really tiny little detail-y muscles in your leg and your ankle to fire up. What are you doing? Like you're firing up. That's what you're doing. Inhale and toe. One more time. Whoo, heel and toe. And come back to center. Wow. Shift your weight to your other side. Engage that leg. Press your hands behind you. Heel and toe. And now here your toe and your heel definitely have a little bit of pressing into the ground, but the majority of your weight is on your standing leg because it has to be to keep you balanced. I tend to get quick, but the slower we go, the more we get into some of the deeper. Nice. Sure. Foot come back to center. Ooh, shake out your legs, shake out your arms. In fact, bring your hands to your hips. Bring a foot out in front of you a little and make some circles from your hip all the way down to your ankle, maybe all the way to your toe. You might be able to kind of do the top of your foot a little. That can take a lot. That doesn't work for me very well. I'll go the other direction. And then let that foot sink down, come to the other side, making some kind of circles, getting maybe a little stretch on your top of your foot or your toes. Of course, have to have your weight engaged in your standing leg to make that happen. Come back to center. Now, evening your weight across each leg, we're going to do another balancing pose. So lift up your feet so that they're about hip width distance and shift your weight over to one leg. Let your other heel lift, and then maybe holding your hands on your hips, trying to keep your hips as even as possible. This encourages engaging all kinds of deepy things in there. You're gonna lift your knee maybe to hip height and extend your foot out in front of you. Woo, and bring your knee back and bring your foot down. Switch sides, engage the leg. Lift the heel. Maybe you lift the knee. It's okay if you don't. Maybe you keep the knee lifted, or maybe you stretch your foot. And you bring it all back in and down. We're gonna do that again. Shift your weight. Lift your heel. Try not to let your shoulders scrunch as you lift your knee and stretch your foot. My shoulders like want to come up to my ears, like that's gonna help something. Bring your foot back down to the other side, engage. Stretch. With as much control and bring it back down. Oh, and now shake things out. Just bounce around a little bit. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. Let them relax back. Take your fingertips and tap the top of your head. So you focused on the bottoms of your feet, the bubbling wellspring, your connection to the earth. And the top of the head, the Bai Wei. It's called like a couple different things. One of them is like the 100 points meeting place or 1,000 points meeting place. You can think of it as sort of all of the lines of fascia kind of eventually kind of knotting up at the top of your head, or that there's this place, you know, think of like the soft spot on an infant so they can make it through the birth canal, and then it kind of seals up as it does, but that we still have sort of a bit of an opening, you could say, for our consciousness to receive information. It's a nice thing to think about. Bring your fingertips to tap between your eyebrows. Outsides, of your eyes. Over your ears. Let's go under the collarbones. Below them, rather. Can't get under them, so we'll go below them. Just feeling a little softness, kind of switching gears now. We want to balance our sympathetic, get it done, with our parasympathetic rest and digest responses. I'm going to pat an arm, pat from your shoulder all the way down to your wrist. That'll feel nice after all that other jazz coming up. And do it again. I'll lift your arm, pat from your armpit down to your hip. And back up. And do it again. And then touch your arm, come down, shake that arm out. Go to the other side, patting down and up. Switch again. Lift your arm, pat from your armpit down to your hip and back up. Maybe taking a nice deep breath and sighing it out as you go. Let your arm come down, shake out your arm, shake out your legs. Bring your hands to your navel and just let them rest here for a moment, letting your shoulders relax. I was feeling the expansion in your navel. So we have the bubbling well springs, the bottoms of each foot. You have your lao gong, kind of your palms of your hands, your four paws, essentially. You have the bai wei, the crown of your head, and you have your navel center, the celestial pivot, kind of your plug into life, quite literally. Now a wireless connection. And it's thought to be sort of where the energies of the earth can come up and the energies of the heavens can come down, and you meet here for kind of optimal processing of information. You're gonna rub your belly coming up the right and down the left. So we're traveling in the pattern of digestion. Your hands return to your navel. Take a nice deep breath and let it go. And bring your hands in front of your dantian and we're going to part the clouds. Let your arms come up, rest, and lower down. And drawing the energies from the earth up through the crown of your head. It's sort of like drawing water from the earth up. It's like you're a fountain pooling water up and then it spurts out through the crown of your head. This is a very nice energizing movement. We're looking for like a balanced energy, quiet awareness. Be able to do it and get it done while we're not kind of overdoing it and over getting it done. More time coming up and lowering down, and now turning your palms to face away from you, reaching up, gathering and drawing down, being that good conduit of energy so that you can bring in all of these things that we can't touch but are there, ideas, concepts, conversations, information from all sorts of sources. We have to bring it in and process it. So that's this movement encourages that ability to be a good conduit to process information. We can do that better when we feel well. It's just true. It's very grounding, calming to the nervous system. It's a good way to kind of bring yourself back if you're having lots of fun interactions and you feel all floaty, like you're not in your body. Come back down. There you are. One more time, reaching up and drawing down, and let your hands come to your lower dantian, so it's below your navel. And I'm just taking a few breaths here before we come to the ground. Some dantian breathing, diaphragmatic breath. Inhaling, let your belly expand like a balloon. This strengthens your diaphragm. As you exhale, draw your abdomen in. Your pelvic floor gently lifts, so you're strengthening your deep stabilizer muscles, relaxing them as you inhale. And exhale, engaging. This is great for processing energy. This is also wonderful for just calming ourselves down, diaphragmatic breath, but we're strengthening our deep stabilizer muscles that support our internal organs, our contents in here. You know, and lots of different things happen with that, especially as we age. You know, it's always very interesting what occurs. So we want to keep ourselves, again, as well as possible. Functional. Just let your breath go. Relax any control of your abdomen. We're going to bring ourselves down to the ground. Maybe you come through a squat, malasana. Maybe you do not. Come to your bum. No biggie. If you come to malasana, I just like malasana because I can do it. Again, not everybody can do it. Just not everybody likes it. And it's about being able to move in this particular way. And anytime you bend and straighten your knees, anytime you move your joints around in any way, you stimulate your synovial fluid as well. You're going to bring yourself down to the ground. And let your legs stretch out. Give them a little movement. They did a great job for you. Have a block if you have one. And if you don't, that's no biggie. You're going to take your blanket. I'm just going to go under the back of your head. It's just your nervous system saying that's nice. We're going to come into boat. We did boat last time too. Bring your feet to the ground. Let your shoulders stack kind of over your hips to start. Bring your hands under your knees, kind of more like your upper leg. And I've got my thumbs hooked in the sides there. And you can start to hinge back. You want to keep your chest open. Maybe you stay right here, drawing your abdomen in. That's that kind of inward pull. You might bring your shins to parallel. You might lift your legs. You might extend your arms. You could play with that a little bit, or you could stay here and play for a few moments and seeing what happens. Every body's different. As you do your things. And then we're going to lower down to the ground. So let your hands face each other. Bring your chin into your chest and slowly roll down. Bring your knees in and give them a squeeze. Can rock from side to side. And with your hands on your knees, make circles. Letting your
low back relax, letting your sacrum relax. One direction and then the other. We'll let your feet come down to the ground. Wiggle your hips around. And if you have a block, you could place your block under your hips for a little bit of supported bridge. Letting your body relax there for a few moments. Press through your feet, lift your hips, lower your hips down, bring your knees into your chest, give them a squeeze. And then let your feet come to the ground and make your way into your Shavasana, maybe with your legs extended long, maybe with your feet on the ground, knees bent. Just see if you can really relax. Highly recommend removing glasses, putting them off to the side. That just helps your nervous system say, okay, I'm going to relax now. And this posture is the most important posture in a yoga practice. Allow yourself to rest. Shavasana brings together all of those parts of your practice, both on and off of your mat, intermingles them, allowing you to release anything you need to up to this point. So that you can essentially be reborn when you come back up from Shavasana. So just allow yourself to release and relax and feel supported by the earth beneath you.
to deepen your breath. Make small movements with your fingers and your toes, moving your wrists and your ankles. Give yourself a full body stretch. Really bending your knee over to your side. Be there for a moment. And slowly begin to press your way up to a stance. Arriving in your seats, let your shoulders come up to your ears, unroll that. Rock a little from side to side, front to back. Feeling that support of the earth beneath you as the crown of your head extends towards the heavens. And bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly. And offer yourself kindness, compassion, peace, and love. And bring your palms together in Anjali Mudra. The light in me sees and honors that light in you. Namaste. And thank you so much for your practice today. It is just an honor to get to be with you at my stop